Tonight on KGW News, the mysterious illness stumping local vets.
We're not finding just one bug that is causing all of these dogs to be sick.
The symptoms officials are warning dog owners to watch out for. Plus, a push for action as the war in Gaza rages on.
Nearly 11,000 Palestinians have been killed in 1 month.
The local demonstrations and different perspectives aimed at getting the attention of our elected leaders.
We want them back in their homes. We don't want to wait another day.
Then later, pilots afraid to seek treatment. How the FAA is now taking a step forward when it comes to mental health. Good evening, everyone. We begin this Friday with what veterinarians are calling a mystery illness that's making a lot of dogs sick. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Vets say it appears to be a respiratory disease, and in many cases, antibiotics are not helping. Catherine Cook is here. Catherine, what do we know about where this is spreading?
Well, David, the Oregon Department of Agriculture is tracking the cases and gathering samples. Vets hope that that'll lead to a better understanding of what the disease is and how to treat it, because they say it can be deadly. At Wallace Park, these dogs are blissfully ignorant about anything other than playing with new friends, like Ollie the sheepdog here.
Oh, she's easygoing and goofy. She's definitely a snuggler.
But amidst the fun, her owner, Scott Bauman, is very aware of something concerning many dog owners lately, a mysterious respiratory illness that's making a lot of dogs sick.
They don't know much about it, and it can hit quite rapidly, and there have been a number of fatalities.
We're not finding just one bug that is causing all of these dogs to be sick.
Dr. Sarah Tauber is a staff veterinarian at Dove Lewis. She says cases of this mystery illness peaked over the summer, but the disease is still spreading.
One, just be really in tune with your dog. So if you're seeing any sort of acute clinical signs, the things we notice are dogs being really lethargic, having some eye discharge, nose discharge, coughing as well, any sort of labored breathing. Just be really in tune with those signs and contact your veterinarian as soon as they start to show those signs.
In severe cases, Tauber says dogs have been hospitalized and have died within a couple of days. She says many dogs show milder symptoms that stick around for weeks and don't respond well to antibiotics.
We're finding that there's not one perfect therapy for this respiratory disease that's going around. There's not just one bacteria or one virus that we're finding that's causing it. And so we're actually gathering information right now. There's many clinics that are gathering samples so we can hopefully start getting more information.
Tauber says dogs that are on the older or younger side and those with other ailments seem to be at higher risk for this respiratory illness. She says they might benefit from avoiding large groups of dogs right now. It's why Sam Grimes brought Harold here to the park, but left the other one at home.
I also have a little 14-year-old dog who has breathing issues, so it does concern me knowing that there's something going around.
If your dog is showing symptoms and you take them to the vet, doctors say you should keep them in the car instead of bringing them right into the clinic to make sure they're properly isolated. As for human contact, Dr. Tauber says there is no evidence that this disease is transferred to or from humans, so there's no need to isolate away from your dog if they're sick. David?
Yeah, great guidance for dogs and their humans. Thanks, Catherine. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. The Portland Public School District and Teachers Union plan to keep bargaining through the weekend, with the district hoping to reach a deal to end that strike by Monday. But that is just a hope at this point. PBS says they've come closer to an agreement on cost of living increases and planning time for teachers. As far as we know, the district and the union are still at a stalemate when it comes to class sizes. In Clark County, a man is in custody after a hoax message about an active shooter this morning sent Legacy Salmon Creek Hospital into lockdown. It came in as a text to dispatchers from an unknown number. Apparently, they were able to determine the sender was nearby. The hospital went into lockdown and diverted ambulances while deputies investigated. They say they traced the text message back to 42-year-old Fabian Primera, who deputies arrested near the hospital. The lockdown was lifted after about half an hour. And a jury has awarded a Salem man more than $3 million after it determined police wrongly arrested him and used excessive force in 2021. Christopher Garza was working on a car outside the tire shop where he lived and worked when Salem police officer David Baker showed up. Garza said Officer Baker accused him of trying to steal the car, then roughed him up while handcuffing him. He says that left him with lasting injuries. So far, the city of Salem has not responded to our request for comment.
We are here calling the word, don't be silent bystanders.
Members of the local Israeli and Jewish communities gathered in Beaverton tonight to draw attention to the more than 200 people still being held hostage by Hamas. They sent an empty table for Shabbat dinner with pictures of those who've been taken. There were prayers, and family members of those kidnapped spoke about the fear and uncertainty they've been living through over the past month.
Time is running out. It's 5 weeks already. It's 35 days that our beloved ones are not with us. And infant, babies, toddlers, elderly, innocent civilians that were kidnapped from their home and from their bed.
A larger demonstration in support of Israel's plan for next Tuesday in Washington, D.C. About 40 Portlanders are expected to be among the thousands at that march. Meanwhile, we've also seen local demonstrations in support of Palestinians. That includes one planned for tomorrow in Sewell Crest Park in southeast Portland. Different labor unions are meeting to call for a ceasefire in Gaza and protesting the ongoing Israeli operation.
This is a genocide. Nearly 1.5 million people have been displaced. And so the first immediate step we can take is a ceasefire. And the next step we need to take is to stop sending military funding to Israel, which is maintaining a regime of apartheid over Palestinians.
All right, yesterday about 100 Reed College students and others protested in support of Palestinians at the World Trade Center in downtown Portland. A Palestinian speaker and others talked to the crowd about the heartbreak their families and others have experienced. Portland police later arrested 6 protesters for trespassing and vandalism after they spray painted pro-Palestinian messages on the building. In the war zone, the big update today comes in the form of a daily break in bombing. Israel agreeing to pause its attacks in Gaza for 4 hours each day to give civilians time to move. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says too many Palestinian civilians have died. Health officials in Gaza, which is controlled by Hamas, have been reporting intense bombardment near several hospitals where people are sheltering. Back here in the Northwest, some homeless advocacy groups are relieved a ban on daytime camping in Portland has been put on hold. A judge blocked the city from starting to enforce that ban, which they plan to do on Monday. You might remember the city first approved this ban in June. They spent the summer and much of the fall telling people about it. Then late last month, they said it would be enforced starting November 13th. But some homeless Portlanders represented by the Oregon Law Center sued the city, calling the ban unconstitutional given the lack of shelter space. And late Thursday, a judge ruled in their favor, temporarily blocking the city from enforcing it until that case is heard.
We felt a bit of relief. I mean, I don't think anybody in this scenario feels like, oh, that's a win. You know, and it's not a win to, you know, our community, our businesses, our neighbors, and our guests. But at the same time, there was this relief that came with knowing that there was going to be a pause.
I vote aye.
Mayor Ted Wheeler says the city will continue to fight in court for the right to regulate unsanctioned camping and that the judge's decision only makes the city's work harder. Straight ahead at 11, he said he thought he was dreaming. The off-duty pilot accused of trying to shut down the engines of an Alaska Airlines flight opens up about his state of mind. And standing, watching in honor of those who served, the 24-hour tribute to local veterans.
It is a cloudy but mainly dry night right now. 52 degrees. It'll stay relatively warm overnight, but the rain will be increasing. The weekend's going to start out very blustery, but it gets better.